What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel, or welcome to the channel if you're new. It's been a few weeks since I've recorded anything, and I'm going to get into detail on what's been going on. However, all the uploads and everything, I recorded everything pretty one after another. Like, I want to say it's been like a month now since the last time I recorded. It's been pretty close. Last thing I recorded was seats, and that's even been a few weeks ago. So I'm going to get into all that. Today's video is going to be on restoring the headlights for the Evo. But before we get into that, if you are not subscribed, definitely drop a sub. I think I looked at my metrics, it's like 99% of people aren't subscribed. So yeah, definitely subscribe, like, all that annoying YouTuber stuff. It legitimately does help the channel, but all that out of the way, let's get into today's video. So today's task is going to be getting all of this cleaned off here, make it look all nice. Both these headlights are very crusty. They have definitely seen better days. They're very yellowed. If you see my previous videos, you know I'm a big supporter of Cerakote. Today's video is going to be mainly focusing on the Cerakote headlight restoration kit. Along with the headlight restoration, I'm going to be talking about some machine shop drama I've had over the last couple weeks. Basically, I dropped off my engine for almost 2 months at this shop. They never even touched it, but again, I'll get into that. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to pop the bumper back off, get the headlights off, and then get to restoring and finish this drama. All right, so this video will be a nice combination between storytelling and headlight restoration. Within the box, you have 2 packs of step 1. These are just oxidation and contaminant removal pads. They go on pretty easily and clear off a surprising amount of oxidation, more than you'd ever really see. Step 2, we have the little sanding pads with a nice little sanding handheld thing, which looks like they actually updated this. And then also your rubber gloves are in here for step number 3, and I think for step number 2 as well. I'll probably wear them for both. But yeah, let's get started on this. All right, so let's start by removing the oxidation. I'm just gonna turn this towards me a little bit and start knocking it out. So I'd like to go over some of the drama that I've been dealing with the machine shop I took my block to. As you may have seen in previous videos, my engine ended up having a bit more wrong with it than we initially thought. I bought it just thinking it was a bad balance shaft bearing, or just a bad balance shaft in general, not thinking about the fact that when a balance shaft goes bad, it's most likely a bearing, and it could have sent material literally everywhere inside the engine. And learned pretty quickly through just kind of, you know, starting to work on it that, yeah, it was going to be a little bit more than I initially had planned on, which overall is okay, because, you know, you get a fresh start, so that's kind of nice. But I have a specific machine shop in Colorado Springs that I like to take my stuff to because they're the only ones that I would trust to work on it and do good work. So I called them up on, what was it, about probably 7/17, 7/16. Kind of told them what was going on, and they said, yeah, bring it on down, we'll get it knocked out. However, they moved because the previous owner had passed, so they you know, had decided to move shops but stay with the same workforce, machinists, all that, but just change ownership, which I was like, no, it's cool. It's fine, not a big thing. So dropping it off, I knew that obviously they were still moving. Like, they hadn't even started working yet by the time I dropped it off, which wasn't a huge deal for me. They said, you know, we're 3 weeks out already, so with that, it's going to be an extra week or so before we can get everything done, probably. So about 4 weeks total, which was fine. I didn't mind that at all. So what I ended up doing is I dropped off my cylinder head, my crank, and my block. Plan was for a cylinder head just to get all cleaned out, resurface if needed, and stuff like that. And then for the block, it was a full cleaning on it, like full hot tank, and eventually they were going to be decking it and just making sure everything was perfect and just giving a quick deglaze on the cylinders without having to go oversize unless absolutely necessary. So I dropped it off on 7/17. I have notes written behind this headlight just to make sure I get all my information straight. Dropped it off on 7/17. All that information I just gave you was pretty much relayed on that day. 7/26, they called me and said my cylinder head was done. I was like, oh, that's fast. Pretty cool. It's only, what, like a week? Not even. It was 10 days total, so yeah, probably like a business week then. So I was pretty hyped about that. Went down there to look at it, and the head was very clean, like clean enough for me to Cerakote, which I did. But the more I looked at it, I'm like, man, this thing has some like marks on the bottom here. I don't remember being here when I dropped it off. And I asked them about it, and they said, oh yeah, that's fine. It's not a big deal. They won't cause any issues for my sealing. So it's like, okay, probably good. And yeah, that was that. So I gave them like another week or so, because they said that they were going to be working on my block pretty soon after that. And then I just gave them a call just to kind of check in and see, you know, what the situation was with the sizing on it. This was either 8.6 or 8.7. I believe it was 8.7, so August 7th. I just said, hey, I mean, you guys said that you're going to work on block soon, which I'm not in a big rush, but I just want to order some bearings for it and know if I need to order standard sizing for the bearings and the pistons. He said, okay, let me go check. And he called me back shortly after and said, hey, we're actually working on it right now, and yes, they are all standard sizes on there, so you are good to go and order everything. So I did. I went ahead and ordered my standard size bearings, standard size rods, or sorry, I went ahead and ordered my standard size rod bearings, main bearings, and my standard size piston rings, all OEM. Now this is when things start to get a little bit stupid, because I wasn't worried about it, you know, just being told standard everything. That's great news, because that means, you know, I don't have to buy new pistons, I don't have to buy new rods, because if I buy new pistons, I'm going to buy new rods, obviously. And, you know, I just don't have to do a whole build bottom end, because that's a little bit spendy when this is already a little bit outside my budget, as is from what I originally planned. So I wasn't really stressed about it. I was hyped, and so I called him 829, and allegedly they were working on it, but he said that they were supposed to go oversized on my crank now, and I was very confused because the last couple times I talked to him about it, they said, yeah, everything looked fine. It would be standard size. So he said he's gonna go check on it and call me right back, and I never called back. So go figure, not great. So I was kind of annoyed, but I'm like, I'll give him a couple days since he said it was on the machinist workbench already. I knew it was gonna be worked on soon. So I gave him like almost a whole other week, and then I called back on 9/4, and I said, hey, what's, they were supposed to be working on my engine this last Friday or Thursday, I think it was a Thursday. Did it actually get worked on? And he said, nope, we haven't even touched it yet. And this is after I was already talking to another machine shop that's up in Denver, and I was already getting fed up with this because this machine shop up in Denver was much more respectful over customers' time, had really good communication, and they specialized in JDM engines, specifically like 4G63s and RB26s. I was like, you know what, I'm done with this. They have till the end of the day. If they don't call me back and just say they've actually worked on it, then I'm gonna go pick it up. And, you know, night came and went, 9/5 comes up, and I run down there first thing in the morning, and I just picked up my engine. And of course they come up with all these things just like, oh, we're not mad, but you know, we're just curious why you're picking it up. I'm like, you guys haven't touched it. It's been 7 weeks to the day that you guys have had this engine, which is another 3 weeks over the initial quote. And like, I don't care if it's gonna take a little bit. However, when you're telling me one thing and then not checking in or like not giving me any updates on there, and you're irritated anytime I try to call and just get an update, since clearly the quote was completely off. Like if they told me from the beginning it was gonna be like 6 weeks, so I'm like, hey, that's a long time, but that's fine. At least I know it's gonna get done. This wouldn't even be an issue. Essentially on 9/4, when they basically told me that the previous conversation was a complete lie, they weren't even working on it yet. Nothing had been done to it. I had called this shop up in Denver, and they were very, very nice, super open about just like chatting and just kind of getting all of my stuff figured out. Yeah, I called them and they said, yeah, that's not a problem. They can definitely get it done pretty quick. And the time that I was kind of waiting was a little long. So I said, yeah, go ahead and bring it up here whenever you want to, if you decide to, and we'll get it taken care of, no problem. So I did. I went down there on 9/5, September 5th, I picked up my engine and brought it up to this new shop, which I'm working with, which more than happy to say now is Madcap. I think their name is Madcap Racing Engines. I'll correct it here if I'm wrong. But they were a super cool shop. I chatted with them. I chatted with the shop next door that does like a lot of the tuning and everything for Evos and whatnot specifically. Super nice guys. Really good shop, really well lit, unlike this one down here. All the machinery here at this new shop is super, super modern, just really nice. So I'm more than happy to work with them. And overall, they were saying like, yeah, we'll get this thing knocked out as soon as we can. Outside time will be 3 weeks. We've already gone over everything that they need to do. And they said like 3 weeks, but there is another 4G63 there, and they said depending on when he brings his pistons, we might get it done in 1 week. Which has already been up there for almost 2 weeks now, so that's obviously not going to happen, which is not a big thing. He said no longer than 3 weeks on it, which is great. But they also took a look at my crank, said it should be okay, it might go undersized, we'll let you know. and you can kind of order oversized bearings as you need. And for the cylinder head, they took a look at my cylinder head since I brought it up there, and they said it looks great. Cerakote looks really good on my my work there, and the head looks clean, but the surface on there never should have left that shop like that. It was scratched right on some of the fire rings, and he said this more than likely would leak. He said maybe it'd be okay, but if you're already this far in, why wouldn't it just be resurfaced? And I kind of agreed with them, so they are gonna go ahead and resurface it too. So yeah, that's the events that have unfolded so far. That's why uploads have been very kind of randomized with just random tasks around the shop, including Cerakoting including restoring my headlights with the Cerakote kit, just because, you know, I want to have the car running and driving and everything and kind of move on to some other content. The problem is I've already moved it up here with the expectation that my engine would be done, and it isn't. So I've just been trying to make some stuff happen for content in the meantime, which is why I did like my valve cover and all that, which all the stuff needs to be done anyway, which I'm not really pressed about it, but just the fact that I want to drive the car since I obviously paid a decent amount for it and haven't been able to drive it yet. It'd just be nice to be able to, but you know, it is what it is. Also, on my last video, I was installing the seats, which are in there now, and I was also doing my fuel system, and I didn't put a grommet on one of the fuel pumps, so I'm gonna be doing that today. So yeah, the time adds up a little bit weird, that's why, just because I'm obviously working on these, not a whole lot else going on, and since I was already ordering another part from STM, I figured I might as well go ahead and order that grommet, just because I'd rather not, you know, have any lack of fueling issues. I don't know if I have a problem or not, since I do have both O-rings on there, so it should be fine, but just in case, I'd rather just have it on there and have it ready to go. I think the rest of this video is probably just going to be me kind of scrubbing away at these headlights, making them look all nice, and then obviously putting them back on the car once they are all cured. I don't know if that'll be today, because I do like to leave them for like a day before I even mess with them, just to make sure all the ceramic coating is all clean and clear and hardened before it gets messed with. But yeah, that's been my machine shop drama. That's why the car's still not running, and I'm still trying to just get some little stuff knocked out and keep content flowing in the meantime. I hope the rambling in the last bit wasn't too much. I'm just trying to get all of the information out there as much as possible and just kind of share my experience with my unfortunate engine situation. But in the meantime, just enjoy this nice transformation on here. God, this makes such a difference. It's so crazy. Look at that. I'm just gonna give this thing one quick pass over here too. Not really necessary, but it'll look nice anyway. And hit this corner right here. Perfect. So yeah, headlights probably like, I call it like 95%. There's just some little pitting when you look at this thing up close, but other than that, I mean, this thing looks perfect. Couldn't be happier with these results. Again, this is the Cerakote Headlight Restoration Kit. It is obviously an incredible difference going from my original headlight condition to this one. It's amazing. Love this kit. Once again, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, it would really be appreciated. I hate being that annoying, naggy YouTuber about, you know, like and subscribe, this and that, but it is unfortunately a big thing. I'm trying to hopefully reach 1,000 subscribers as soon as I can, just so that way I can start making more crazy content. I have a few pretty interesting builds in mind. One of them dealing with my 48 that I made another video on. I would eventually like to do an engine swap on that to this thing with a pass. I'd like to give it an engine swap to a modern V8, probably out of a Mustang or something, because the one that's in there is very okay. It could definitely use a refresh, and with the money that I would be using on the refresh, I could be using it just on a new block. And, you know, just overall drivetrain. But, I mean, that's a later on down the road thing. I'd also look at doing some Subaru projects at some point too, which would be kind of cool. But in the now, I'm waiting on my engine to get done. Once it gets done, I'll be doing a probably just a quick video on getting everything back, and then after that it'll be a probably like an ASMR style assembly on it. That's my goal anyway. Hopefully I'll have that engine back either this week or next, and once I get it back I'm going to be doing a full Cerakote on it, and then it should be done. There you have it. That's a full headlight restoration and full rundown on everything that's been going on with my engine and whatnot. So hopefully you enjoyed the video. I know it's a lot of yapping and just a lot of rambling, but again, just wanted to get all the information out there. Check out some other videos. I got the whole story on obtaining this car and everything. Have 48 content. And new to the channel, I'm going to be doing some gun content on Sundays. All my car stuff comes out on Thursdays, and this new gun content stuff is going to be coming out on Sundays most likely. I just need to get a day to go down to the range and actually do like probably 4 to 5 videos, just get them all recorded at once and then edit them and just knock them out week by week. Supposed to be going down there this week, but I have a job interview, so looking forward to that. Just a little life update thing, but anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you decide to subscribe. Comment any useful tips you have for, you know, things to do on the car, or any ideas for future content. I mean, I'm always open to some ideas. Again, thanks for watching. I don't know what my next video will be, but hopefully it'll be getting stuff going for the engine, or, you know, something along those lines.